Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the paddock here in Southern Maryland. It's about 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and it's time for us to do our next read. God, it's beautiful the day out there. So let me show you Sasha and show you out there, and then we'll come back and get the reading done for the day. Oh, here's Sasha taking her kind of midday nap. She likes when she comes here. The dogs play during the morning time, and then when we come over here, she gets rested up for her afternoon play session with her brothers and sisters. I was watching Scott's Freedom Friday video, and it's 78 degrees out here. Look how beautiful it is out there, bright and sunny. Great spring day here in Maryland. All right, guys, today we're reading chapter 8. It's the second economic principle, American economic accomplishments. And so this chapter basically goes through and justifies how good our free economic system is, and it really just kind of gives some justifications to why they say that. So let's get started. The greatness and contentment of a nation are not measured merely by the nation's wealth. Compared with any modern state, Athens in the 5th century before Christ was extremely poor, but the world has not seen since such intellectual brilliance as then resided in Athens. On the most remote and thinly populated of modern countries, Iceland appears to be at once among the most nearly contented and the most highly cultured of nations, while some of the states with larger national incomes also have the higher rates of suicide and crime. So, although American prosperity is something for which Americans ought to be thankful, nevertheless, they ought to not rest their whole case when they defend the American cause upon the evidences of American wealth. Braggart nations, like braggart men, generally are disliked, and smugness is a dangerous mood for any country, no matter how great its natural resources may be. Yet, this said, the United States undeniably is a great economic success. Part of this success results from our natural resources, part from our size as a nation, which gives us one of the largest free trade areas in the world, and part, probably the most important, from the economic and political and moral principles by which we govern ourselves. I like that. So they come out and say, hey, part of the reason and the most important reason is for our economic success is from the economic and political and moral principles by which we govern ourselves. Americans' wealth is widely distributed. The nation's citizens have the power to enjoy standards of diet, housing, and physical comfort previously unknown to humankind. During the Great Depression, certain radical agitators invented the slogan that 5% of the people own 95% of the wealth in the United States. This slogan was and is a baseless fabrication. Never before in any civilized society has there been a greater distribution of wealth than there is now in America. The real income of Americans continues to rise steadily and is reflected in private savings and in our people's capitalism, through which more and more Americans are coming to own a share in American industry. Most of our capitalists are people of moderate means who own stocks or bonds or insurance policies invested in large commercial and industrial corporations. Millions of our private investors are men and women who work with their hands. American labor unions, indeed, now are capitalists in their own right, since the gigantic pension funds and reserves of the unions usually are invested in the stocks and bonds of private corporations. Our American prosperity is not simply an accident. Our technology, our industrial ingenuity has much to do with our economic success. But that technology, in considerable part, is itself the product of a free economy. For a free economy offers great material rewards to invention, efficiency, and shrewd management. Competition tends to eliminate the inefficient and obsolete and to put a premium upon new methods and discoveries. An industrialist or a merchant is responsible for his own blunders and is entitled to the profits of his ability. Again, I like that duality. An industrialist or a merchant is responsible for his own blunders and is entitled to the profits of his ability under a system of free enterprise. So if we choose to do something, we're responsible for our blunders and we receive the benefits of what we try. A man works best when he works freely for his own advantage. His inventions and increases of capital may be initially for his own benefit, but in the long run, they benefit all of society. Marx was wrong. Free enterprise does not lead to servitude and poverty for the masses. By liberating energies, a free economy encourages people to do their best. Nowadays, most Americans work only 40 hours a week, a vast improvement over the conditions of a century past. There is talk even of a 4-day work week now. For the mass of people, such a quantity of free time is a novelty, so that some spend their free hours only in idleness, which is boring. Economic prosperity cannot guarantee human happiness. It is probable that India ever can be one-third so it is improbable that India can be one-third so prosperous as the United States. So boasts of American wealth may merely excite envy. We ought not to make too much of the economic argument when we are defending the American cause. So I like that. He's saying both, right? We should be very proud of our economic success here in the United States due to our freedom, but let's not go out in the world and just tout just the economic success when talking to other countries. So far as material achievement can satisfy human longings, nevertheless, we Americans have gone further than have any other people, and we have diffused our prosperity more widely throughout our nation. To leaf through the annual statistical abstract of the United States is to obtain overwhelming proof of our economy's success. And anyone who has traveled a little in America sees the evidences of a tremendous material accomplishment on every hand, a prosperity expressed in better houses, better food, new automobiles, great schools and public buildings, splendid highways, a multitude of popular luxuries. In the face of all this evidence, how can doctrinaire exist? Statistics continue to argue that America is a land of capitalistic oppression and failure. American society is imperfect, but all human societies are imperfect in some degree. The American economy has its faults, but there are faults that may be modified. A free economy, because of its opportunities for choice and competition, is always within the possibilities of improvement. It does not repress the reformer. I like that. Our system does not repress people who try to make the economy better. When something in a free economy goes wrong, there is temporary trouble, but the variety of talents and the elasticity of the economic structure make mending fairly easy. The free economy in such condition penalizes only a few by loss of profits or resort to bankruptcy. But when the totalitarian economy is brought to account for its mistakes, it seeks scapegoats and the concentration camp substitutes for the bankruptcy court. It will not do for us to be complacent about our American economy. We have many grave problems. We need to humanize mass production and to restore craftsmanship and personal accomplishment to work, and to teach ourselves how to make our leisure something better than boredom. We need to infuse into modern life a sense of community and purpose and hope and deep-rooted security. We need more genuinely educated businessmen and more genuinely responsible labor union leaders. We need decentralization of industry and more penetrating regard for the claims of rural life. In upholding a free economy, Americans are upholding the material fabric of an elevated civilization. I just like that. That's enough. That's the end of this reading. It's the end of chapter 8. We have one more. We have two more. Chapter 9, and it's anti-American claims, and then chapter 10 is the American response to that anti-American claims. I just like this chapter because it says how great we are at running a free economy and how successful it is, but that it has faults There are things we need to work on, but it is better than any other economic system out there. I like that a lot. Guys, that's it for the reading today. A little bit shorter. I like that. And we will talk to you later, you guys. Bye now.